The cold wall goes up. You cannot run, but Fear was not going to let you hide. He wants to try and bring down a Force, but a Force ends ground. And Chem pulls Fear back in the base after Force gets a double kill. Leap on the way! The leap on the swap on the leap!
Butchering Brax, phase shift dodges it, but to what end? They've done no damage. Now their song's down, and Fnatic are gonna move on here.
Both guys, they will see down the tree line. Denny gonna phase shift, and then with the Shiva's gone, they're gonna jump in. Koro, big stun, double stun, feed good cancel, black hole, won't go. He actually gets two. KYX right up higher, locked in position. A Force with a double kill. Mushi on with dead, and he's dead. Mushi down, and SK will buy back, and GG! Navi!
Are you ready? Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the MLG TKO. That's
I'm Dota Capitalist.
And I'm the guy who can speak English.
Good work, Toby. You just, if you want to, you could just call it Team Knockout. Is that what we determined?
Yes,
Team Knockout.
It's called Team Knockout.
Yeah, you just call it by the full name.
As opposed to
Knockout.
what TKO actually stands for, which is Technical Knockout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Messing with your minds one step at a time. Let's get ourselves inside the game, man. And
because there's no technical knockouts in this tournament, Toby. It is all or
technically
nothing.
they're knocked out.
But I'm saying this all or nothing. There's no rule booking.
Snap.
There's no interference from the referee.
Snap.
It is a full-out brawl.
Go fish.
Go fish. What?
10 seconds.
Play game of Snap. Go to fish. Gin.
5
Old
seconds
maid.
remaining.
What?
I don't know. Sometimes it seems like, Toby.
Do you not understand what I went with that?
Sometimes it seems like you just go, you like say one thing or one phrase, and then you just seem to like follow down, like you just follow the path into the forest. You just don't. Where's Toby at? There's Toby, tra-la-la, going off into the middle of the jungle.
It's a challenge to follow my
You
my
just like
thought
snap,
patterns.
and then card games start coming
That
out of
was
your
it.
mouth.
Like, Snap is a card game.
I know, you snap.
Yeah.
Go fish.
Yeah.
Like, and you just keep going. Exactly. You're just like following this trail
Yep.
into nowhere.
Well, we'll see what we pull up right now here in the draft as we go for the initial flop. Later on, we'll get to the river.
10 seconds remaining.
We can go for now all of a sudden we're trying to expand the interest of Dota 2 to the world, so we're trying to bring poker players into Dota 2. So welcome to the first flop. We'll have a second flop later. Difference is with this card game is you can actually ban out different cards. So if you don't want that ace up their sleeve, you can remove that ace and put a queen instead.
Toby, you want to hear my impersonation of you?
No.
We see Lycan pick up. Lycan as wolves. Wolves. Bears. Tigers. Oh my.
White tigers. All of a sudden a guy locked inside of a cage, which is filling up with water, and he's chained.
And a magician.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, it's an escape artist.
Yeah. Who are those?
Houdini.
The
you
two with the white tigers.
Oh, yeah.
The one that got bit.
Yeah, and they're when they got bit. Yeah, out of every single trip that they ever did, and all the shows they did in Vegas,
yeah,
it was
that
just
they're
like,
known for
so what do you
now.
remember about it before the guy got bit? What a noob. But seriously, you don't let wolves bite you. Or the white tigers. What were their names? It starts with an S. One of them starts with an S. Nah, see, I think of Roy and HG, but that's Australian. Damn it.
Damn.
Oh, damn
All
it.
right, I'll just focus on the draft so that doesn't bug me anymore. Wisp, Enchantress, Ember Spirit, Dazzle, all being banned away. Ancient Apparition and Darkseer is going to be picked up by Fnatic. Lycan and Invoker picked up by RoX.
Siegfried and
Roy!
Roy!
Of Siegfried and Roy. See it? Roy. I was right.
Siegfried and Roy.
There we go.
Siegfried and Roy. There we go. Oh.
Minion push.
See, I couldn't move on until we got past that, man.
Yeah.
Or else all of a sudden it'll be like, well, then again, does the Fnatic carry? Is it technically like Siegfried and Roy? Which one actually got bitten? Because Lycan's going to come in there and it's like a nom 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 all over their arm.
I don't know which one actually got bitten.
Really? Neither do I.
No clue.
Because everything I read here is like the Tiger attack is Siegfried and Roy. Tiger attack.
10
And every
seconds
single thing.
remaining.
Oh, no, there it is. Why did Tiger attack Roy Horn?
5 seconds.
Does she know his last name was Horn? Bring in the son of Magnus!
And yet somehow, Toby wanders out into the middle of the jungle, and somehow the path he's following just leads right back to where he once was.
Yep.
I have no idea how you managed to make that work. Sometimes I feel like I'm less of a co-caster and more of just like corralling you. Like, no, Toby,
You're
let's
a
not
tour
focus
guide.
on that. Let's focus on the Dota game now.
You're a tour guide. If you look to our left, you'll see the Dark Forest. If you look to our right, you'll see the Mammoth Enclosure. If you look directly ahead, there's a small frog in a river.
I don't know how you come up with this stuff.
Dying
But
Be mentally disturbed.
But Toby, back to Dota.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing the ultimate douchery
Uh-huh.
coming up here from Fnatic. So we have Tinker, Ancient Apparition, Treant, as well as Darkseer. The only thing this lane is missing right now, this lineup is missing, is an Invis hero to walk around that people can TP to, or something like, well, I would have said Visage, but we're already heavy on our supports. They need something that the Tinker can
10
TP into,
seconds
or the AA can have vision for.
So apparently, Fnatic right now just
Nick's
really
great.
big fans of Darkseer. That being said, Darkseer is I see a little bit more reason for the Darkseer pickup this time around, because you have that surge coming into play to counter out the Lycan. So I think that's an interesting idea. So being able to save your ally from the Lycan, just being able to angle onto him and burst him down real quickly with that physical damage. But that being said, you also have the Train Protector now being picked up, a really good counter to Lycan as well with the Overgrowth, and it's also going to be great setup for the March of the Machines, the Ice Blast coming in, the Vacuum as well. All of this is going to be working beautifully in team fights if they can set it up correctly.
Sorry, I said some words to Hani before we start this whole game off, and he answered back saying the reason why he wasn't actually hitting his Searing Chains before.
Uh-huh.
His answer,
Lag.
delay, doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, what server are you playing on, man? Like, we're playing Europe servers right now. Like, and he lives just around the corner.
Yeah. Honey seems to have a lot of issues with the internet right now,
Just in general.
just in general. Bane and Abaddon picked up by RoX
Yep.
through and through Goblek.
Bless you for bringing this cast back on track.
No problem, Toby. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. I feel like the helmsman, the helmsman is just like, I'm at the wheel, and for whatever reason, the ship just wants to go right, and I'm just straining against it. No! No! Turn!
All you've got to remember is
Port side!
you're just riding like on Steamboat Willie, man. It's the old little Mickey Mouse at the wheel.
Oh,
you never
God.
know where you're going on that one. Just whistle a happy tune.
I just said a noun. It doesn't matter. It's just some sort of specific noun, and now Toby takes that noun. It goes off in something else. Ship, steamboat Willie.
You said you're at
Again.
the helm. Like you're like you were doing the images of like you had like one of those old fashioned like give me a pirate wheel. Captain Jack Sparrow. He'll be coming into the mix.
Centaur's gonna be picked up.
Had my tongue cut out.
Centaur. I can't even do it. Centaur's banned out by Fnatic.
Sorry. I should
I
like a
can't
new
even get the
challenge now.
draft correctly now.
Get the ultimate new challenge now, just to screw with Cap as we go through our draft. Don't worry, people. We'll get to the game at the end of all of this. How you doing, there, Cap? How you doing?
All of a sudden, Toby's like, "Oh, look, a butterfly!" Like we're in the middle of the indoors, but somehow a butterfly will appear. Toby's like,
Butterfly
"Oh, look,
wouldn't come in
magical
here
butterfly."
unless it was a very hungry caterpillar. And we know what happens to very, very hungry caterpillars.
Hungry caterpillar.
They get picked
Hungry,
up
hungry
by
hippo.
George Bush in red.
Okay, so RoX right now,
Don't challenge my insanity, man.
with their two cores of Lycan and Invoker,
5 seconds.
they actually have a really good amount of pushing power, thanks to how. Obviously, Lycan by himself gives a good amount of pushing power by himself, but then you throw in the Forge Spirits as well.
The only thing which is what I find weird is the fact you get both Bane and then Abaddon into this. Like, it allows you
Yes,
to
I
dive
agree.
through, but they're not big pushes. Like, you're not looking at an Enchantress or a Chen. You don't have an Enigma set of conversions behind it. You don't have, like any kind of lane clearance either. Like, and I'm not going to count Abaddon's
Oh, what?
interesting.
When was the last time you saw a Tiny without a Wisp?
Um,
Nahaz, help.
there was a game. There was a game, and I'm trying to rack my brain for it.
I'm so glad Nahaz is here because I cannot. I'm not good enough at the sites that he visits to be able to find a Tiny without Wisp. I can find Tiny with Wisp, but Tiny without Wisp is entirely different.
Look at this lineup. It's just so
much control.
You're right. The control level is huge coming out from RoX, but the killing potential again is quite low.
Yes.
Like, if you don't get it from Lycan, his physical DPS is really going to be non-existent. The Invoker, if he doesn't find levels early on, is going to have his high level of control, or items that keep letting him, spam out his abilities. And then you have a hero like Fnatic is running, which is Era, which almost makes me feel like this is... I don't want to say the words, but I think it's just an aggro tri-lane. I know it's really random to say that, but I don't see a way that Trixie is really going to survive up in the top lane. Between both Nightmare, Lycan, Wolves coming in, that Abaddon's going to be causing some problems too.
I mean,
I'm not fully sure about him on the off lane, but when you have an ancient apparition, knowing how hard Tiny can hit in the early stages, and then you put a Treant on top of that,
oh god, that's awful. I didn't even think about that.
What?
No, I'm thinking about what you're talking about, which is the double. Those are two of the hardest hitting heroes with just one auto attack.
Just the support combinations, or you're talking about also
No, I'm talking about Treant Protector and Tiny. Both of them are the hardest hitting heroes in the game with one auto attack. They have slow attack speed, but with one auto attack mixed in with
Chilling
you're
touch.
talking about 300 damage from those two heroes hitting you once.
Yep. Which basically means that RoX can't run off laner. That's almost what I want to go to, but the Batrider at least has one upside. And this is why I'm tentative at saying aggro tri-lane.
No,
and that's because I look at it and say they don't have control beyond Avalanche.
Mm-hmm. I honestly would be okay with an aggressive tri-lane, mainly because only because I think it would actually work against RoX's tri-lane, which is a Bane Lycan
Abaddon.
Abaddon.
What do you do until level 3?
Yeah, I think
Just sit
Trixie
in the porch making pancakes.
Yeah, I think Trixie would be fine in the off lane as long as he got his level 2. He either walks away and they're forced to Nightmare him, in which case he surges afterwards. That's the only thing. As long as he doesn't have his surge interrupted by Nightmare, then he should be fine.
Wait, really? Are they? Y'all will move into this position here.
Oh yeah, they're waiting for
in order to put down the aggressive ward. Now, there is no vision of Fnatic. It's okay, this is them securing this.
Yes.
This is all this really is. I was waiting for them to go for the aggro, for the attack, and to move up to here, and then sit here to gank it. Now, the question is, can they catch him? And Yol walks up. Leech Seed will go, but they don't really have the extra support, but then with Chilling Touch bonus damage, okay, Harney's going to hit up this hill, and then the rocket damage, yes, she levels up. Now, there's your new one. Actually put a level 1 rockets into Tinker. Circumstantial only to get the kill.
Yeah, I mean, you see Tinkers all the time, hold on to one level of laser until level 4 or 5, just for the potential to get that pick off. Well, I mean, Missile, you wanted to get off as many auto attacks as possible, so leveling laser there might not have been a great idea because you wanted to get in those auto attacks and not spend your time messing around with laser animations. So instead, you get Rocket. And once you're out of range, throw down a rocket. No problem.
So, for all the lanes we could possibly get, we have Notel that just help with the blocking in the middle, but Goldblack is babysitting solo in the middle lane. So the easy answer is to just keep Notel here on the front lines in the mid too. While on bottom lane, Fly's going to deal with Seedoy. This is also a Seedoy who gets the Howl bonus damage. So he's actually able to fight down here in the bottom lane and win a one-on-one engagement with Fly, especially when he's already got 4 napalm stacks up on him. And it's really causing some troubles for Era. He's trying to stay in close to get some last hits in. At the same time, Batrider is now 3 for 0, so he's looking pretty damn good himself. And up on top lane, Trixie's in a bit of a sandwich. Yol's here with Trixie. He's got Surge away, but Problem is for Lycan, he's been forced all the way back under the tower by a double creep wave.
Yeah, how do they stop this kind of constant push? It's just the Bane who's doing any real damage.
And then Living Armor, like all the damage that Bane can do is just negated by the Living Armor that helps him out.
So right now, because the Abaddon wouldn't be able to contribute to that top lane at all, he's sitting on middle, helping out solo a little bit against the... and what I love about Fnatic's lineup here is that they're running dual lanes as well, but no tail, because they ensured that there's going to be no
Trixie.
ward blocking it.
Trixie!
There's no way.
It's done so much damage,
There's
yo!
no way, right? Yeah.
He can't get the kill, but he's forced out 2 different abilities from this Bane already. And the damage output from BZZ is non-existent. This is a guy that doesn't go Wolves because he knows all he's going to do is just feed it to the Darkseer. And all Darkseer basically needs is a little bit more mana. Now, Goldblack, I don't know if he... Notel just stole the Invis rune, and he's heading up towards top lane. So they're going to get a kill here.
Yep.
Yep, Iron Shell on Notel too, and they just can use the Invis guy, but with the Leech Seed, Darkseer gets the kill over on the Bane, and now Goldblack shields himself up, and Notel body blocks him. They break through the shield with the Iron Shell, and they're trying to get the maximum amount of Iron Shell damage out here, and then a quick surge, Tree of Protection just drops the fist. And we go 3-0 for Fnatic already.
Right now, RoX's only hope is going to be Seedoy doing well in this offlane, which he should have a decent time, but he can't possibly beat this Darkseer. Like, Trixie's already level 4, picked up a couple of kills in his lane. Batrider up against, like, Batrider is good versus a Tiny in this situation. Laning phase, when you don't have that automatic kill combo, but it's still nukes you have to worry about. So Seedoy can play aggressive, but he can't be as aggressive as Trixie can be.
I'm still wondering to see what Era's going to build into. Because I know a lot of the time when we talk about the Fnatic builds for their Tinies, we talk about the fact that they skip a gap. They skip a step. Like, normally that you wouldn't see something like this early Yasha over on a Tiny, or something like the movement speed and attack speed. Fnatic kind of bypassed that because they have a Wisp that just keeps them alive and fighting on the front lines. So, in this case, I'm really all-fly. Cold Feet needs... Now we'll do it, but I don't think that's enough damage. Seedoy outruns it way too fast when he's got his boots on him. But yeah, I'm wondering if Era tries to go into Hand of Midas in this game, just to try and make up for the fact that he's not going to have the rest of his team there. And the rest of his team's already off to a good start, so he should still have a lot of space in the future.
Yeah, I think Era should pick up a Midas here. It'd be a great idea because you're going to need those stats. You're probably not going to be going BKB here because you have 2 different disables, the Batrider as well as the Bane ultimate. So BKB's not going to help you against either one of those, so probably not considering that.
Okay, take your odds right now. Trixie, does he escape or not?
Yes. Oh, maybe not.
He's waiting to surge
he's gonna
out.
get nightmared mid-surge. That's the worst thing that could happen.
Living Armor, not going to be there to help him. Brain Step will do more than enough of a job. And the Living Armor from Notel just comes way too late.
Yeah, RoX did a really good job surrounding him so that Trixie was forced to use the surge in order to get away from that physical damage because he was getting hit by the Wolves, the Lycan, as well as the Bane, all with howl damage. He realized he needed to be able to use surge to get away from those heroes, but he was so surrounded at the time. He wanted to be able to run away and force Nightmare to be used without Surge.
Yeah.
That was the ideal, but...
He couldn't do it, but at the same time, Trixie's positioning, it was overconfidence. He's already been winning on the top lane. They managed to pick up 2 kills. They're feeling all great about that. But one thing which just isn't there is, like, is safety? I don't know if that's really the best phrasing for that. But he's sitting up here on the top lane, and he was sitting up here when there is not a single ward giving him vision on this top lane, which literally says, screw you to RoX. I don't care what you have. It doesn't matter to me. I will tank up whatever you throw at me. If you commit 3 heroes, then that's the time you're taking away from the other lanes. Yeah, like middle lane, because Notel's now in there doing his farming because Hani's doing what I assume was the start of a stack. But he's getting into his BT, starting off with the Soul Ring as all good tinkers do. But this is just easy. This is easy going for both Era as well as Hani. Yeah,
that's what I was talking about earlier. This dual lane will be able to get full experience for
Trixie.
both.
Again, he's going to go in. The Iron Shell burn is there. He's really pumping it out. He used the wall damage to make sure you tick him out. And now Lycan will throw the Wolf ulti up. So he was able to chase down Trixie, and there's your lasso. So Trixie will die right now, but he still managed to bait out the first ultimate from Lycan. Seedoy's last two as well. Now, Seedoy obviously is getting closer with his Blink Dagger, so that's a little bit more critical for him. But they're still having to force so many heroes to go up towards the top lane to deal with the Darkseer, who's now 2 for 2.
Look at this. Hani is going to be level 8.5. No Tail is going to be, level 4, level 5. And it's because of the fact that Treant Protector can spend his time pretty much just stacking. Whether it's the hard camp, whether it's the Ancients, whatever it is, he can just spend his time stacking this middle lane. And then he can actually sit in middle while you have Hani clearing it, because Hani went for that fast Soul Ring.
Yep.
So he's got that
Avalanche,
constant mana.
Toss. Cold Feet's going to also trigger the shield. Actually came up just a little bit too late there, but Yoel's still able to run himself away to safety. And they didn't have enough damage to finish the job.
But still, that's that main disabler that is not top right now. Meaning that here comes the double ion shell spam, and BZZ is going to have a real tough time trying to pick up these last hits. He's trying to do it with his wolves, but make sure he doesn't feed away those wolves at the same time.
Yeah. It is really problematic, but with the Vladimir's offering, it makes it a little bit easier for him. I do actually beg the question, though, what's meant to happen when RoX is supposed to take an early Roshan with this Lycan? Because we still have to remember it's dire side with Lycan, which means Roshan is high on the priority within the first 15 minutes.
As well as Forge Spirits as well. Those are additional units to help you out doing Roshan, so... Yeah, RoX KIS, they definitely have that option to them, especially considering they're going to have a Bat Rider with the Blink Dagger already up by that point in time. So if anybody tries to contest that, they're going to get lassoed up.
They're going to contest, man. Like,
and pulled back.
Tinker has just done a double stack of Ancients. Once he farms that up, that's BTs. Like, we've got a 9-minute BT.
Well, do you contest, or do you constantly, do you just pull more farm out of the map than they do?
I would trade. I would trade with towers.
I agree. I think that's the better choice.
Until Trixie has high points up in VAC, you know your control over the pit's not going to be enough.
Right.
If you can, get Ancient Apparition up to level 6. So actually give Ancient Apparition the space in mid and not a hero like Treant Protector. Because that way, then at least you got the AOD which can scan out for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, your supports need levels. They need a good amount of farm as well. Era picked up a Midas, so you don't want him fighting early.
They're going to find No-Tel, but they don't want him. They want Hani, but Hani just picked up his BTs, but the Sunstride's coming in. Hani's able to back himself up, and now he's got one level of March to the Machines, surged away to safety, and now with a laser over on Seedoy, he's got to keep himself away from the Firefly, but Trixie is just burning down the Bat Rider with the Iron Shell. Yoel's moved himself off the side, but look at Trixie's high movement speed. It's this haste rune of his. It's not even a surge. He's on permanent speed right now. But they protected the Tinker, which is huge for Fnatic. They don't lose him, they don't lose his BTs, and they don't lose his farming time, more importantly.
Yeah, he just goes right back to doing the jungle, doing both of these camps with one March to the Machines, and he could just teleport back to base, full heal, and they can continue moving around the map. And so when they do eventually go for Roshan, again, I think Fnatic are just going to try and take some towers off of that, honestly. They've got the presence in lane already.
They're going to have a crack again at top lane. Yoel and Trixie just battling it out. But it's like Trixie doesn't even care about that DPS coming out. Who's actually got the mech in this game? Because I assume Trixie will be the builder for it.
Yes, Trixie should be.
But right now I'm seeing an Ancient Apparition with what I would assume to be like Tranquil Boots. Jump in, Seedoy. Very, very confident movement. Actually blinks over the top of the Fnatic boys. And Fly's got 5 napalm stacks on him. And now in comes Yoel. 6 napalm stacks. And this is Fly dead. He'll burn up inside this and he knew it. He had to move up a little bit higher. Abaddon, in the meantime, though, has died to the Tinker back at the tier 2 tower. He actually... So Hani just went straight past solo to get that kill on the Abaddon.
And Rockets are pretty damn strong. That was a really brilliant play, though, from Seedoy, because he blinked so aggressively because he was using that turn rate to his advantage. He knew that the Tiny and Ancient Apparition, he blinked behind them. They can't turn around and instantly address him. He was just focused on keeping them turned around. Oh, that Ancient Apparition ultimate.
Yoel and the Rockets. It's crazy combo. What's even better for Hani is, and this is one of those wonderful things which I love watching from Tinkers, especially when you can do it with like this, with Rockets, you can do it. You TP into your tower, and you instantly hit off your Rockets. So you're actually making the most amount of use of your mana regeneration from the fountain, because not only does he come in and he lets off the Rockets instantly, but he gets the extra bottle charge out too. So you're keeping your regeneration going the entire time.
Yeah, it's completely free set of rockets that you're throwing out. You get that mana back. Not using the charge. Fly was going for Tranquil Boots, by the way.
Okay, so it was Tranquils.
Yeah, so he goes
And
for
they
Tranquils, and they're catching BZZ.
Oh, the timing of this. Like we
They've
said,
got
like 10 to
overgrowth.
15, but Bad Rider, there's your overgrowth. It's keeping Seedoy out now. They're going to see him up on the high ground. AO is going to come in and hits on Goldblack, and he's got no ulti. He'll end up shattering from all of this in the corner, while Era being dragged back with the lasso. No tail. He'll actually die. The flame break goes, and Goldblack somehow has actually managed to keep himself alive, but Seedoy walking through that March of the Machines, snaps back with the rockets, punishing the commitment there from Roskis to try and chase down these kills.
That was a small blunder there from Fnatic in the beginning. Like, Arrow was probably going, yo, guys, what the hell? Like, can you focus down the Lycan, please? He had no extra support. His combo put the Lycan low, but he couldn't quite finish off him. But then Hani came in and just saved the day. Threw down a couple of March of the Machines and, like you said, punish RoX KIS. You just cannot walk into that March of the Machines this early on. And he's so damn farm already. He already has that Blink Dagger. This amount of time is normally when you're looking at Tinkers picking up their boots of travel.
Dude, he's picked up 5 kills. This is another reason why. Like, you pick up the 2 around the Roche pit, you're able to snipe out like the Abaddon back at the tier 2 tower, and every single time you're coming in with just this 4-level rocket spam. I'm almost wondering if this is one of the games where you consider going the Aghanim's Scepter upgrade. Just because of how effective these rockets are being. The ability to trigger off the Abaddon ulti before the fight's even begun, to force RoX KIS back, and then to give Era even more space. Like, he did end up going the Midas, and now he's into drums and treads, the Yasha, or he could just go straight to Aghanim Scepter. Anything is possible. He's already showing his strength right then by picking up No-Tail and crushing him on the tower into mid. Like, Fnatic is in such a commanding position. They've just taken their second tier 1 tower, and with a Tinker on the map where there's not been a single tier 1 tower lost, I don't see RoX KIS having a way to breach in.
All they're missing right now is the sustainability of a mech, which basically makes sure that they're kind of invulnerable. And then on top of that, the initiation of No-Tail. If No-Tail can get a blink, you can see the potential of that combo. Overgrowth, vacuum, they're held in a tight, close circle together and still held in place. And then you get the March, you get the Ice Blast, you get everything else that's coming into play. This Fnatic lineup is so damn scary when they're ahead, and I thought RoX KIS were going to be able to take some early towers, and I was kind of concerned that RoX KIS would turn that.
But even look at the damage they did early on.
Oh yeah, they can now. Now March Machines is up and maxed out living armor.
Yep.
There's no way.
Like, that bottom tower was rather low before, but it's already coming back up again. No-Tail's working very, very hard at it. They don't have fortification available, but yep, there's, well, Solo. He'll just TP himself away to safety. Era was on his way, but couldn't reach him in time. But Cedo is actually in a bit more of a riskier position. He's cut through the tree line, right behind the secret shop, and he's waiting for an opportunity to go on Trixie here. Now, Trixie just got himself a regeneration rune, which is why he just used his surge. Because he felt so overconfident, he just wanted to get another quick jump in.
You all just smoked up to dodge a rocket.
Really? Is that what it's really come to now?
It's really what it's come to, man. And think once Hani has a Dagon,
Fly.
This
should be his dead.
Real hard.
Yep. Centaur's coming in from the side. Sunstrike's going to give him a bit of extra damage, and with the DD rune also over on the Abaddon, it was a guaranteed kill. And Cedo is still waiting to jump on this top. The pings are coming out, and they say Trixie's still there. And Cedo, yep, lights the fire under his ass, and will jump in. Now, there's a TP coming in from the Tinker. We got the surge off. Wait, what? They never lassoed.
Flame break instead of lassoing is kind of questionable.
And now the Darkseid going to vacuum in. Denial on the tower by Trixie, and the Rockets again. They slam into Fnatic. They slam in, to the Bat Rider, while Solo ends up dying on a different lane. He ended up dying on the bottom lane to the Treant Protector and Tiny combination. This is just starting to get brutal, man. And with the Dagon now arriving, we got Blink Dagger level 1 Dagon with 4 points Rocket, 3 points Laser. They're just going to start running across this map, searching for kills anywhere they can find them.
Yeah, he could practically one-shot almost everybody on RoX KIS.
And then he gets back to farming. Unfortunately for Hani, he's a little bit too late to get the pull off correctly. Or is he? No, he actually still got it. He got Black Dragons as well. What a lucky devil. Trixie, a little bit of trouble for him. Nightmare's there, but the Rockets, it comes in the... Oh! Now that is just not the right face to be having for this kind of combo. And the fact, almost put him up in the wall. The laser will hit. Luckily for Goblak, his ulti was able to trigger off. And I don't know if that protected him from the A ulti, but Cedo will come in. Lasso, they go on fly. The one guy they know they can kill off. And then the surge away from Trixie. But for all of that, like, RoX, they just drag the rest of their team up there to fight. They pop off the shapeshift. They use Lasso. The ulti went out from Goblak. And they get the Ancient Apparition. And the Tinker is still causing troubles everywhere.
Yeah, honestly, I know we are both concerned about the support pickups of RoX, and I feel like a total lack of synergy here. Like, I can understand wanting more control when you're running a Lycan like this. Like Bane with the Exort Invoker, Bane with a Lycan. That is good. And then you've got the Abaddon to be able to help Ancient Apparition counter, but it's not working out at all.
Oh, Lycan. He just wants Roshan. Is it too much to ask? Is it really too much to ask the BZZ can finish the job? Now they'll fight through March through these Forge Spirits, and tossing in Forge Spirits affect the way of Solo. March Machines is out now. Roshan at 600 life points. March Machines are breaching on the edge, and Nightmare, it'll at least keep him out. So Lycan gets the Aegis the Immortal, but No-Tel pops off his ulti, and then the Vac back in again. We're going to copy a BZZ out in the field, and the March Machines cover fire as they retreat back out again. Steedoy is still very, very low. I was waiting for like another set of rockets to fly out there from Hani and drop him, but yeah, loses the vision at the end of the day. And now they're coming up. BZZ may be overstaying his welcome here. Avalanche, Leech Seed, they already trigger through the first life of Lycan with the Aegis Immortal. Aeol is going to come in, toss up into the wolf form, but he got hit by the blast. His life points ain't going to look good after that one. Yol, full duration right now on his Fiend's Grip, and then a follow-up Brain Subs. They bring down the Darkseer. Lycan, he was able to survive through all of that, but Era being dragged back in again. They don't want to actually be too close to him. At the same time, Lycan was able to get the kill, but lasers and rockets and everything else Honey's got still throwing out in the middle of the fight. It's 2 for 2, and Cedo's coming back in again. Nice commitment, also with these Wolves working overtime for BZZ. That'll get himself a double kill with that. Hani will TP out, and No-Tel should be able to survive through this.
Decent fight for RoX there. I was expecting a lot worse. Like, when you have the Lycan caught out like that, Aegis isn't much of an advantage because you come back and you should be coming back into like multiple March of the Machines and everything else. But he was able to get away a little bit. He still died towards the end of the team fight, but he got away from that basic Ancient Apparition plus Tiny combo. And now, geez, Hani does not stop.
No. Oh, why should you, man? You have a never-ending map control ability. It's this wonderful thing called Rearm. Aeol's flying into the middle lane. He's hoping that he can get in range for rockets and laser and Dagon. The rockets are going to come in and both will connect on Solo, but it won't drop him down low enough. And there's your shield from Invoker. Protect him at all costs. But Era, man, this guy is 1k gold away from getting Aghanims. This was the safe lane Tiny. And he's sitting at 9,000 net worth. He's still above that of the Lycan for a Tiny with no Wisp combination.
Yeah, BZZ won't be ready for that Aghanims yet. They still need their Necrobook 3. He's got Necrobook 2, but they can't fight until they have Necrobook 3. What other items do they really have picking up, though? Solo, he's got 2,000 gold.
Cedo is coming. That'll be one thing, but...
Yeah, I think maybe double 4 staffs. They need one on Invoker as well.
Is it really
going
to
to max out the mobility?
Is that really going to be useful enough, though? Like, Era's now being dragged back. This will have to go straight into a Fiend's Grip on Era 2.
Sunstrike.
Sunstrike is just, you know, it's technically on position, but Hani, Laser, Dagon, Era, almost able to stay alive, but he actually didn't use his 7 stick charges. He possibly could have lived through all of that. Now, Yol, okay, there's your burst damage. Hani is basically going to mana, however. He's going to BT back to base right now, but he's going to let off one last set of rockets, and Goblak, it'll trigger off his ulti form. If they wait long enough for this one, they can get the follow-up kill, but back into the wall, and then into the tree ulti from No-Tel. With the Leech Seed, Hani's already got himself a double kill. And now he'll be happy to TP himself away to base. 3 euros lost for RoX.
I was just going to comment on how manly that was of Solo to blink in right next to his ally after he's got like 4 heroes chasing him like that. But it proved not to be manly at all. It proved to be actually just a silly play that gives yet another death the way of Fnatic. So they may have lost their Tiny, but... The power of Tinker, like when he's farmed up like this, he has that constant pressure, that constant presence on the map. And then with the Ancient Apparition as well, like you can't even stop to talk about like one little aspect of this game without Fnatic thinking about going for another kill, and he's soon going to have a Scythe of Ice. Like he is not far.
This is crazy. I was actually kind of hoping that Trixie would go for a Blink Dagger.
Oh, me too.
Just for the ultimate initiations.
Yeah, the Blink with the Treant Protector and the Blink on Darkseer.
Yeah,
I think that would be a great combo.
Even if it's just like a Blink into a Vac, so then the Rockets can connect and the ALD can ensure it connects.
Oh yeah, or that. Just like simple vacuum initiation is strong too. Because when you have an Ice Blast, yeah, just any small nuke can make a big difference. It can make the difference between that hero getting out and that hero shattering under the weight of all that magic damage.
They're coming for Solo. Solo's trying to get to his Necro book. He's actually going to build that instead of the 4 staffs in this game. But we got a Blink back. He's running up. There's Observer Ward, and then they toss in No Tail into his ulti. A ulti will also connect with the Avalanche. Didn't matter if you went into the White Walker mode, but they just nail him down.
And Seedoy, who was in Viz, was coming up that hill, and he was like, that's a whole lot of nope right there. Nope.
At least he's found Fly. With 4 staff and Lasso.
He doesn't know who else is around, though.
And the other problem is, like, when you start off with a Firefly and Lasso, you've got no napalm levels up on Fly. So he's not really going to take that much damage. Like, you got one on him now, backs into a corner, but the amount of time he's able to live is more than enough. Back in, another toss in. Goldblack's ulti is triggered. He just goes back to full life again, but he's about to lose the entire shebang. There's another toss coming off cooldown, and that could be No Tail or Hani. Either way, it's going to be No Tail. They throw the tree into him, and yeah. Goldblack will go down up towards the top lane. The AA ulti is trying to keep Roskis off their tier 2 tower. Fortification as well. Okay, I thought Hani's blink was going up just then to follow the kills, and I realized how much mana he's got. All back in for the tower. Laser just a little bit too late. Trixie is on his way. But BTC Shapeshift will last more than... Yeah, okay. He didn't even see him walk away. Forgot we're currently sitting in... yeah, we're still in nighttime.
So I do like the idea of mass Necrobooks for RoX KIS. I would say even the Batrider should go for Necronomicon. Maybe consider Boots of Travel first, but go for the Necronomicon as your extra luxury item. Because then when you have 3 different Necronomicon minions on the field, that's pretty dangerous to both the Tiny and the Tinker, who are not normally natural BKB buyers. Like, Tinker is not... Sometimes Tiny will see a BKB, but it's in pretty rare situations. So they're going to be able to like not only provide a lot of extra damage with the Howl, obviously, but as well as when they explode, then gets that direct magic damage, which is just a huge blast. So Tinker's got to be real careful about his Marching Machines. At that point in time, however, we're still long ways. Actually, Solo has just picked up Necrobook too. So maybe RoX KIS do have a small advantage once they have both Necrobook 3s. Maybe they can win one team fight and turn that into another team fight, another, and just snowball in. But
yeah, it's still a tough ask.
Yeah, it's tough. The 7,500 gold lead right now for Fnatic on a really farmed Tiny, who may actually be going for a BKB.
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's not what I was expecting from him at all.
No, I mean, you've got Lasso, you've got Fiend's Grip, but at the same time, this will help him deal with Cold Snap and any of the smaller disables of Invoker, and as well as deal with the Necronomicon minions.
He just can't deal with, like, Fiend's Grip.
Yeah.
That'll still hold him there.
But at the same time, though, we're dealing with the 2-core lineup, man. Hani is more of a carry figure than our Tiny is right now.
That's true. And once the Scythe device is up, then, well, that Lycan tries to be a big dog, just turns into chickens the entire time. And Hani is controlling everywhere. And Trixie with Mr. Double Iron Shell push out. It's just crazy. It's really crazy where RoX KIS can try and survive is their base. Toss in the mid. A ulti. Solo is dead. It's like the easiest way to get your Treant ulti off without having to have a Blink Dagger. And the fact that now he's also walking around with the gem. Now normally you'd think like a support hero that's walking around with just, okay, Goldblack, Goldblack, question mark. Avalanche will go, gives him back his full life, but they wanted to ensure that he wouldn't be able to walk in towards the tier 3 tower any further. While up on top lane, the tier 3 tower actually went down. Lycan was able to push that out pretty hard. And they're going to TP back RoX, and Solo, he's waiting for a jump and initiation. He's looking at Era, but he knows the Iron Shell is not going to make his life easy for him when he gets the drag back. And now also with an Aghanim Scepter over on Flying Lives, again, not going to be too easy. But RoX showed their potential. They just broke through the top lane.
Yeah, you cannot leave a Lycan alone to only buildings.
Should also try and deal with the creep wave that's still up there. Considering you have a Tinker, Hani, like, killing is fun, but Rax is important.
Toby, do you...
Yes,
and
Cap?
it's got to be a BKB.
Yes,
it's got to
Cap?
be a BKB for Lycan. I was considering, like, do you maybe consider going for Assault Cuirass or an Abyssal, or just go for some sort of straight damage item, but
in
between Tiny and everything else?
In this game, there's no other choice. Like, No-Tail's ulti is still going to cause you problems, but at the same time, like, with everything which is flying at you from Fnatic, you need that immunity. You need it.
Yeah.
Without it, you're screwed.
Yeah. What I was really focusing was like the potential for split push here for RoX is their only opening to win this this game right now.
If you're gonna do that, then you still need a BKB, or else you just lose the like and you lose your mid-racks.
Well, I was thinking of like the boots of travel and like maybe even an Assault Cuirass or something like that. Hell, even a Desolator.
Yeah.
And just hope they make that one positioning error, and then you turn that into your wolves being on the other side of the map, you teleporting in, and you breaking base.
See, I'd go for more of the safety. Just BKB, and then you can get your Desolator up. Because I'm actually a huge fan of Desolator. It's just an item in a whole. But the ability to actually have that, you'd be able to munch through the top racks quite simply.
Yeah.
Like this whole like Roshan battle, which is currently being waged. Like as long as BZZ's up in the top lane, then Fnatic won't commit too many people to it. But Fnatic don't care. Like they're now farming up their next levels up at the Dagon because Hani's about to take a triple stack of Ancients. And what's RoX really getting for it? BZZ farms a little bit up on the top. They get time for the level 3 Necro books to arrive, but Tinker now has 2k gold after his quick farm. Goes back to base. Do we see the next level Dagon, or do we actually start going in for a safety item? Because I'm wondering too if Hani considers going in for BKBs himself, or if he tries to go for more clearance, if he looks for Shiva's Guard.
No, I think he relies on Era to clean up the Necronomicon minions for him. Since he has the BKB, he has that splash and that physical damage, so leave him to clean up the Necronomicon minions if you would, Era. And Hani, I think, just maxes out the Dagon now. Just goes for that direct damage.
Gold Black, dead. Leech Seed will slow him down. Okay, they're not actually 100% sure about this. The Observer Ward's watching Seedoy behind the lines, but they don't see anybody else.
Look at the setup at top, though. If they can catch out this Tinker, this could be them taking a real quick Rax.
They've been waiting for this forever, though.
Yeah.
And Hani has been so defensive in his positioning.
They're sitting in the jungle just waiting for him to overextend himself.
They know it, though. They know it. So Hani shouldn't make the mistake. Hani should only be defending. Like, if he TPs in on this wave on the top, then he knows it's his own mistake.
Yeah.
If he dies, it's his own fault. So he waits it out either around here, or if he does venture out, it would only just be up into this region because he knows he can blink back out again.
Look at Era. He's invis, he's surged. He's got that Nature's Guys right now. He's just going to one-shot somebody if he gets close.
Waiting. Necro units will spot him out.
Yeah.
You can take the damage from that because at the end of the day, it's just free gold.
They're going to be forced back here. I don't think they can take Roshan.
No. The Sunstrike's watching it. But then again, they don't need to take Roshan. They need to be forced back either because Hani just does this.
Well,
March machines and the wave and the push is over. There's 3 heroes up here trying to do this.
Dire's middle tower is under
just the possibility of what if that Bat Rider was able to catch Hani.
True.
Know? It only takes one mistake for you to lose a Rax here.
But then you're still going to have Living Army. You're still going to have that Aghanim's AA ulti to fly in. I know we kind of got to feel a little bit different about this game because it's going to have a Wisp Tiny relocate. And only when there's a Tiny, it's like, it's fine. He'll be there.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. But I still feel like Fnatic still have enough control over RoX when they go high ground that they can buy enough time for support to come in. Even if Hani goes down, he'll just buy back and fight again. Because it's still a B-team Tinker at the end of the day. And now they're going to have a crack at bottom lane. Flying's got ulti up and running. Gold Black's just sitting on the front lines. And the Vortex is going to make sure that Gold Black just doesn't want to contest this at all.
He's saying, go for that push, boys. BZZ immediately starts putting pressure. And, of course, Hani quickly responds with the same. setting up that defense, making sure that that Lycan does not have access to those racks.
They do need a sentry ward here.
Yes, they do.
It's one massive thing which is very much required on this top lane. And I know NoTel's got the gem and he's moved himself up to this top lane too now. But just always having the sentry wards so they can see when the wolves come in, it's a requirement. Like you can run wolves and necro units and just pop off the howl and you'll bring down racks just with these minions.
So BKB instead for Batrider. Instead of Necronomicon, go for the BKB.
Here they come. Fly's ulti's on cooldown. They just surged up the Tiny, and he's going to move himself in. Avalanche actually missed on absolutely everything, and now Seedoy actually gets it grabbed, but the lasso, it's not going to do anything. Not when there's a back wall in so tight on RoX. It's a horrible choke point for them, and the March of the Machines. Solo is trying to hide in the corner, but he'll die the March of the Machines. Now NoTel jumps in for his ultimate. Goldblack is locked in position. The Hex goes over on BZZ. The Fiend's Grip controlling Trixie for a short period of time, but he just tanked it up the entire way through. Now, Tiny hasn't brought back. That came out from the Invoker instead. And Roshan did end up going down. Picked up by the Lycan. Okay, so he actually still got the Aegis Immortal at the end of the day.
Yeah, and RoX, I think, can take a little bit more map control. They were already forcing Fnatic back so much, but if they can get some good map control here, they can get even more farm out of the map than they were before. You have BKB to be built on Seedoy. The Scythe of Ice pickup from Invoker, you know, that's going to be sort of an inevitable pickup for him. So if they just give themselves more room to work, unfortunately, they just can't seem to break these towers, which is a huge source of income for them.
I'm just really surprised that went so well for RoX. Like, you just look at that position. The
Yeah.
jump in on the Tiny was great. Like, the fact they managed to control him for most of that fight was great. But when you throw a wall across this area here, and you vacuum all into this one area, and then you got Marsh and the Machines basically going across this box in that direction, you should have lost your entire team inside the pit.
Yeah, it's because they didn't panic. It's mainly because Lycan said, no, I popped the BKB, I finish off Tiny. If they want to come inside the pit, we'll let them. But for now, I'm going to finish off Roshan, and then we'll all exit the pit together. Sure, the solo went down, but that's fine.
Defense is coming. ALD's flying out a long way, and that's just not going to connect on any single hero. They're going to kill off Era straight away. There's a Darkseer back into a wall again, but the BKB is allowing BZZ free movement until NoTel throws down that overgrowth. Goldblack, his ulti's already triggered too, so potential kill for him, and Hani is looking at him, but he has to blink himself away. With BZZ in that close, they know there's troubles. Well, the Vortex is now blinking. They need to get Yol down straight away. There's no back potential. They've got to kill him off the old-fashioned way. Tiny will buy back into this game. And with a Bane on the sidelines, they're going to find more. Toss in Trixie. He does have back in a moment, but it's already too late. He'll surge himself up if he wants to catch somebody there and then go into the Hex. That's another 12 seconds away. Okay, backs him in the tree line, feeling that there was a TP away. But we'll see a secondary shapeshift now coming off from BZZ. That fight lasted so long that he's actually able to get two of them out.
Not a bad team fight for RoX. It wasn't great by any means, but they didn't lose anybody big. I thought that would have been an overextension for RoX, honestly.
We'll jump in. They tossed in possibly the wrong hero. Goldblack's ulti will always protect him, but they just hex him up. There's no real follow-up. Nice flame break. And then they try and get him back out to safety, but the AA ulti flew straight on top of the Batrider. It really put his body on the line to save his support hero just then. And it didn't pay off.
Yeah, what happened there was kind of what I was expecting at that tier 2, was Fnatic just crushing through a couple of heroes real quickly. Some of those supports, if they just like not really focus on the Lycan, this is another thing. This is why you see Assault Cuirass being picked up so much more for Tiny, because it makes him this really big damage dealer, but also makes him really tanky. You saw the way Lycan just creamed through him when they had that Batrider lasso on him. They killed Era real quickly. He needs that Assault Cuirass, I think, before they go in for another push like this.
I'd agree, man. AELD's just giving me a bit of a nuisance right now. But yeah, while we get ourselves a moment, it's Fnatic fall back. Chat trivia time! Who is the only hero to be picked or banned in over 85% of drafts on record in 6.80 Dota?
It's got to be Ancient Apparition, right? Ember Spirit slips through the pool sometimes because...
He said banned or picked, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he said banned or picked.
Yeah, so you'd almost want to... Oh, you're saying slips through the pool as in, like, not even touched?
Yeah, sometimes he won't be banned out, and neither team feels comfortable enough with him to grab Ember Spirit. So I don't think he fits, even though he is often seen as, like, perma-banned by some teams.
I'd almost want to say Lycan just based on the recent times. But that's only been like the last 2 weeks. I don't know if that
Yeah.
would really be enough to justify it. And you couldn't take any other heroes like the offlaners, like Clockwork wouldn't really be a potential hero either.
Yeah, no, there's no consistent offlaners being seen right now that are just like constantly picked up every game.
Yeah, Bat Rider? No, even then, like he slips through the pool a lot too. Yeah, I think you might actually be right with the Ancient Apparition. Either that or Invoker. Because Invoker would be the man I'd almost want to put my money on.
Top tower is under attack.
Because this guy's getting picked up in all. Then again,
He's still
with
a specialty hero.
yeah, with the lower tier teams, they probably don't play it as much, and that does count into these stats.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
ulti as well as rockets as well as everything else. Gold Black back in again. This time BZZ's in way too close, but the lasso from Cedar is buying him some space, but no tell. Perfect timing again for him. This time he had a blink dagger to jump in himself, but BZZ just burned through his Agassi model, pops the BKB and the wall form. Cedar isn't looking too healthy because they fought this entire thing through the Darkseer wall and then into the March of the Machines, but they brought down the Tinker, who now has to buy himself back. Now, Yol is keeping himself safe from this Invoker illusion. This is the reason why he nightmared himself up, so he could buy himself time to blink dagger away. And they're all going to TP out to safety. Wonderful fight for RoX.
Yeah, the moment they saw that Hani bout back, they said, perfect, guys. We just brought this game back. We not only just won that team fight, we forced out a buyback from Hani. We get another good team fight like that, and we've won the game. It's pretty much how it is. Like, the next 6 minutes, if they can get another good team fight like that.
Yep. Like it's going to get completely out of control on them.
Yeah, because
you asked for the AC, and he actually went for both BKB and AC into that fight.
Yeah, because once you actually lit this RoX team into your base, it's like, it's like litting the wolf inside the chicken pen. Like, he just, like, tears everything up real quickly. And with Hani down, there's no defense. Like, he is their main defender right now.
And they got no other real control over this Lycan.
No, they don't.
Because even with the double hexes they have, he still moves around very quickly, so just runs away and then waits to come back in again. And your burst damage doesn't do anything to him when he triggers off the BKB. The upside is the fact the BKB is getting lower on duration. So you're down to 7 seconds on that BKB. This is something which we should probably be keeping an eye on as we go later into this game.
Yeah, their biggest opening, Fnatic, if they can get the initiation with the Scythe of Ice from Hani and keep that hero perma-disabled, or No Tail's reaction to the BKB pop from Lycan. Then he pops you Overgrowth.
Yep.
Holds that hero in place a little bit longer.
See, he was forced to do it in the last fight early.
Right.
Just because of the Agassi model. Like, if you waited any longer, then you might have actually seen BZZ pop off his shapeshift as well as BKB form.
Exactly.
But he had to jump in at that point because that was the only time when they were sure they'll at least burn through the Aegis. And Invoker!
Oh, wow.
I'm glad I put my money on him at the end of that discussion.
You know, I can't believe... so much of this meta for me is just all about Ancient Apparition that I can't believe he wasn't even in the top 3. Nyx Assassin and Visage, like both of those heroes you see... like, they aren't really game-defining heroes unless you're talking about certain teams.
Yeah. Like, Nyx Assassin has just dropped off. Ever since... Like, you noticed it during these last couple of games. Like, there's been no real great off-lane hero that fits the lineup, because we've got so much aggression coming out these days that you just like, well, what can I still put on the off-lane? I try for a Bat Rider because he's elusive. In this case, they went for the Darkseer because they're also looking for their different combinations. And unless you be a little bit more passive, even though Trixie was everything but that. We get a good item up now from Hani. With that Lincoln Sphere, it's so much more difficult for a Bat Rider to initiate on him. And if the Bat Rider doesn't initiate on him, then it's the Bane, it's the LOA, it's the Invoker that just gets shrugged off.
Yeah, that's a big game changer for him, as well as the Assault Cuirass finish by Era. The Lycan is much less threatening and just a side benefit. Towers are made of paper now.
Now that Era finally has attack speed. It's one of the other sad things you've been watching during the fights, that you got both the sticky napalm as well as just a lack of attack speed from Era. So he's sitting there trying to swing this damn tree, but just finding no momentum. Well, everyone's going to back up again.
Yeah, it's all about Roshan right now. It's control over the Roshan pit.
1 minute.
You talked about it last team fight, how that made the big difference for the Lycanthrope, because they were kind of forced to use some of their big abilities, he came back, popped the BKB, popped the shapeshift, and was ready to go. So they can't let the Lycan have it. At the same time, they just don't really have a whole lot of control over this Roshan pit because of that dire side advantage and how quickly RoX KIS can pull it off.
Look at Ross just jumping in there already. They're still going to wait another 30 seconds. Obviously, we can see the timer and they can't. But they'll be guessing that he'd spawn up around this point. Because he's basically spawning 45 seconds shy of the maximum respawn timer you have to wait.
Yeah.
But we get a full heart now done. Is that over on the Lycan? Yeah, we have a full heart on this Lycan.
Ooh, how do you feel about that one?
See, I'm actually okay with this.
Okay.
And the main reason why is because I want to go back to what I was saying before about the level of control. I might have to wait a moment because Era wants to come in this mid lane. Okay, just surge him up. There's not going to be any kind of surprise. But I want to go back to what I was saying before, where the controlling abilities of Fnatic here come from their Science of Ice. So all you basically need to do is get this Lycan and run out of the battle for a short period of time, which he can still do if he gets the shapeshift form up beforehand. So he has the heart to tank up the initial initiation, and then can just follow through, run away, heal back up again, and come straight back into the engagement again. I'm not going to say it's going to be instantaneous, but like, it buys him that safety to then stay alive during the fights, make sure they don't lose that horrible fight, which then Tiny goes through and takes out 3 of your axes. Instead, you have more. You have more life points, and then you can go into your damage dealing after.
Look how quickly they almost did Roshan.
Yeah. But then Era comes in, mops up the rest of their units. So Blink, BKBs come in too, and this time BZZ committed, but Notel was right in the money, and Seedoy, he got locked in here, and Era is going to try and beat down BZZ, but this is going to be him backing off for a moment. Solo's already gone on a killing spree, and they turn on him. Avalanche, toss, the Hex out in him too. They force stuff away, but the toss in by Trixie. He needs one more punch. Solo goes invis. Trixie, he's running after him with no extra damage. Notel, he's trying to slow up BZZ while Fly, he's actually knocked on top of a cliff. The ALD will fly out now, right on top of BZZ, as well as on top of Goldblack, but BZZ, he was just far enough away. And the Avalanche will somehow he's still alive through all of this. That's not hard going to work. Now he is finally brought down. Invoker and LOA will buy back. Seedoy is stranded, but he'll have to blink himself away to safety. He's going to use his Firefly to get back out again. But this is just, that was a, I don't want to say a mess, but it caused it. The amount of commitment to kill off that Lycan was just ridiculous. And now Era's going to come in here. Oh, this is ballsy. Is he really looking to finish this? Blink up. Hex is over on Solo. Who do they want? Goldblack or Solo? Avalanche is missing absolutely everyone. A quick toss. Goldblack very low. He'll go down. Solo jumps in. And now that's his life lost too. It's a double kill for Era. By the time the AE ulti reached, RoX KIS was pushing up the daisies. And now, this is what I was talking about. Survive or you'll lose 3 Raxes. You're going to lose at least the mid here.
Yeah, why not go in on that second when you were talking about Fnatic being ballsy? They knew the Lycan was down. They knew he was not going to be coming back up. They wouldn't have just given up Roshan for free like that. Lycan would have bought back if he could. So they said, Fnatic, hey, let's just go full hog here. Let's go in, see if we can find some heroes. And they sure did. They found several from RoX KIS, and now they're going to be taking not only just the mid-racks, but probably
GG.
bottom and just RoX KIS GG out. I got to say, I was kind of skeptical of the heart pickup. You did see some of its success. I mean, he survived through so much there. I was expecting an Abyssal for him to be able to lock down some heroes, but I don't think either item would have mattered. I don't think Abyssal would have changed anything for him if he went for that over the heart, because that was all about No-Tail's beautiful overgrowth play.
Yeah, when he trapped both Batrider and Lycan inside their BKBs.
Yeah. Completely negated. He used one ultimate to negate not just the ultimate from Batrider, but as well as the BKB use from Lycan. Like, both of those were completely shut down and wasted some of that precious shapeshift time. That was such a beautiful play from No-Tail.
Yeah. Man, it was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, No-Tail. Of course, Harney did do pretty well at 10-2-9. He sent me a message back just after that game saying, lol, it wasn't actually lag, he just sucks at using it. So he was blaming the servers. But yeah, in that game, really, Fnatic, it felt like they always had control until like that 30-minute mark, at which point I thought, wow, interesting. Maybe we want to see a 3-0 wipe tonight and the games will get a little bit more interesting. But it looks like RoX KIS will have to put it down to their final game right now, as they are in a very, very rough position. They haven't got a single win so far here in the TKO. They have gone 0 for 3 right now as far as their performance go with a 0 for 4. That basically will eliminate them from the finals. And then we go down to Team Empire and Fnatic to see who can actually win it out. And I'm not actually sure if we'll play our last 2 games out, which are meant to happen tomorrow. Like both of them, because it will be dependent on bonus points and stuff like that. So it may actually have no effect.
You mean the RoX KIS versus Empire match that you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about RoX versus Empire.
If they lose this match, which then they're pretty much out of the tournament.
Yeah,
right?
it's guaranteed. Like if RoX lose this match, they're out of the tournament.
Because Fnatic have extra points already.
Yeah, but it's the bonus points between both Fnatic as well as Team Empire, because there's only one bonus point from the last round that separates the 2 of them.
Right.
So unless there's a 2-game gap, then yeah. But if Team Empire lose both of their games, they end up up against RoX KIS, then they end up going 3-3. And we have ourselves a more interesting situation on the board. Well,
let's see if RoX KIS maybe turn up a little bit, win this game, win 2 games against Team Empire. You can imagine that kind of comeback.
Maybe. Anything is possible. Stay tuned, peoples. We'll be back here with our final game of the day for the MLG TKO. Hope you're enjoying the coverage.